Be able to go on the road to kick off the Big Ten season, get 3 points and a clean sheet. That just sets the tempo early and takes a lot of pressure off of Minnesota's shoulders if they can keep this score line.
Plenty of soccer left, just under 34 minutes.
And to start the second half, Nebraska has been the more dangerous team. Minnesota's played a lot more defense, seen a lot less of Jupe and Birdsell having to find ways to just keep the ball at their feet. It's not a lot of maintaining of possession for Minnesota here in the second half.
Minnesota trying to keep the ball. Where when Caleb Porter was leading the Akron men, he always talked about death by possession. And I love that mentality when you have a lead as opposed to just, running into the corner and that type of thing. We're not even near that time, but just keep the ball, and if you lose it, win it back. And we're seeing a little bit of that from Minnesota, even on the road. Player down here for Minnesota.
Cunningham taking some contact to the head. That's why the referee blows the whistle dead to make sure Cunningham is okay. The possession piece is super important for Minnesota, especially against a team like Nebraska. The best way Nebraska can get out is over the top in transition. So for Minnesota, they want to make this Nebraska team chase, but you have to be able to find the right outlets and the right passes, and you have to have really good spacing. And right now, Minnesota just doesn't have more than one option to find feet. And that's a lot of credit to Nebraska's defensive structure right now, too.
And one name we have not mentioned a ton for Nebraska coming off a big game is Kama Carpenter. And Coach Walker's going to need to find somebody to get those goals.
Kama Carpenter, 5 goals, 2 assists. She's played behind players for years. Coach Walker said this is her year to step up and be bright, and it certainly has been for Carpenter, but not enough touches on the ball. And for me, I want to see Carpenter at times just continue to drift centrally. That's where a lot of the ball is being played. And for Carpenter, she's really skilled with the ball at her feet. So try and pick it up and help Nebraska just calm down a little bit.
The first 2 seasons in Lincoln, just 1 goal and 1 assist. So in the breakout junior campaign, here comes Nebraska running downhill. Perhaps that time Anna Whitty, maybe a pass out wide first and then swing it back in.
It's just too one-directional for Nebraska. They really just want to get to goal, and sometimes you just have to be patient in that build, and Minnesota's done a good job keeping a lot of their numbers back, so that option to go forward to Makovica isn't too clear and obvious.
Touch there from Brock. Brock stays with it. Brock, well, you could tell if she just got 1 more foot of space, she was going to hit it.
Much better from Nebraska, but still a lot of forcing down the central channels by Nebraska. And that's the MO for Nebraska. They have a one-directional, one-track mindset, and having a player like Makovica up top, Ali Felt has come in to relieve Makovica. They've done a great job at times, but it has to be a different look when you're down 2-0.
The next game is in LA, Southern Cal and Washington. Brock is from LA. Missed opportunity there by Minnesota, so it'll come back to Nebraska. Brock now with the penny will join John Walker on the Nebraska bench.
Smart decision by Walker to continue to sub out Brock and Seas. It allows both numbers to get some rest, but then to be able to pull out a full effort going forward and to be an effort in the wide areas and more advanced spaces. Brock, just a freshman. We've seen a little bit more of a highlight in the second half with some of her service.
Nebraska, 13 freshmen, 2 transfers, and of course the return of Reagan Robbie after 3 successive PCL surgeries.
Robbie has been the highlight for Nebraska here tonight. She has been able to, when Nebraska can get on the ball, create that service. She's doing the defensive work. It just hasn't worked in Nebraska's favor much here tonight.
Joe Sees, who came on late in the first half. It's Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Colorado will have a team in the NWSL next year. You know, it's interesting when you look at the number of decorated players in the NWSL from Colorado, you could actually field a pretty good team just with Colorado natives.
Looking at Mallory Pugh, Lindsay Horan, you have Sophia Smith from the Denver area. It's going to be a really exciting team for the NWSL to expand to an area of the country that the NWSL has never been in before, and just to have a presence that will also grow the game with the attendance. Wow, that's a big foul against Nebraska there. Missed opportunity, or rather that was Schmeiser getting over the shoulders of Carpenter to win that ball. Just a little too heavy from Schmeiser on the back of Carpenter.
Well, we asked to see Carpenter, and Nebraska delivers, and off of that, they have a chance now to send a ball perhaps deep, or we'll see if they want to put it out wide. Initially, that's what they'll do. Now they'll send it in and around the 18, right at the top of the 18. Good job to try to knock it down, but there's Martin getting off her line. Wow, she really has a great understanding, great presence. 0-0 for the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Martin with a really well-timed run to bounce off her line to receive that ball. Minnesota has pinned Carpenter as a number to keep covered, so Schmeiser does a good job just to keep Carpenter out of that play.
And it was end-to-end in the first half. However, neither team with a shot in the second half. I still like the pace of the game, but a completely different half.
There hasn't been too much activity in either 18, and that's a lot of credit to both teams' defense to keep the ball in front of them, not allow those opportunities in transition. But for Minnesota, they want to continue to build, keep the ball at their feet, way less concerned about the scoreline. Nebraska, it just has been one too many balls right exactly to Minnesota's center backs to make an easy defendable play.
Minnesota fights through the Nebraska tackle. Picked up by Villa.
Great touch by Cunningham just to pull it down, not able to connect. And that's that final piece for Minnesota. They do a great job of winning that first ball, but can they find the next best option? Are there multiple options for Minnesota to play the ball to? And at this point, they just need to find feet. There's no real effort. They don't have to get forward too quickly.
Different half as a lot of it played between the 18s here. Picked up, and remember the triple header as we'll be headed out to LA. Southern Cal, Rollinson Stadium, absolutely gorgeous. Number 15 in the country. Remember with Kidani McAlpine, they won the national championship in 2016, and then in 2007 is that shot for Nebraska, not quite there. It'll be Southern Cal in Washington. Southern Cal also won the national championship in 2007, led by Amy Rodriguez wearing number 12. Faith George, who is highlighted on the pitch series, now wearing that number 12. Amy Rodriguez was pretty good at Southern Cal.
Amy Rodriguez was one of the best to come out of Southern Cal, and a really storied program in Southern Cal to bring so much to the Big Ten in terms of soccer, more competition, more extra level, and that's what players look at when they want to go to schools. Who am I going to be playing against? What's that competition going to look like? With Southern Cal in the mix, that's a great competition for any team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, both, of course, UCLA winning last year's Big Ten tournament, both UCLA and Southern Cal came into the Big Ten ready to deal with the travel and everything else, and they were really good.
Washington, a great program too. They've been exceptional over the past few years, being able to have, you know, really good players and a really good area. I think a lot of talent comes out of that Seattle area with Seattle Reign. Look at Portland Thorns in Oregon. There's a lot of good talent coming back into the Big Ten with this expansion.
Right idea by Nebraska, hoping for a quick throw in, but subs coming in. You see Brock coming back in. 4 subs again. Now what you need to remember is Brock, if she comes off again, won't be able to come back in, but in the second half he can go off and re-enter, and Brock was not on the bench very long at all, Anna.
Brock just needed a quick breather, and Brock has been a number who's made an impact at times. Sees more so helping out from a defensive structure standpoint. However, really enjoyed how Brock's getting into the attacking third and help build, find some good crosses in the area.
Coincidentally, when Southern Cal, again, coming up against Washington, when they won that championship in 2007, they beat UCLA in that final. Minnesota feeling some pressure from Nebraska, makes a run. Now Nebraska, talked about John Walker's emphasis on transition.
Well done by Schmeiser just to win that header, not allow Nebraska to go out quickly. But this is a great play by Waite. This is exactly why Waite is in the midfield. Does a great job to find that next option. It has to be quick by Nebraska and being able to get into those wide pockets. That's where Minnesota has dominated mostly in this game. That's where Minnesota wanted to win this game. Now Nebraska has to make an imprint out wide as well.
Approaching the halfway mark of the second half, and kind of feel like Coach Walker's team needs to start to hit that urgency button. As you look at the father of 5 and grandfather of 3, boy, he was a proud granddad on our conversation with him.
Good job by Brock, not trying to force anything, instead lays it off.
Minnesota defending the cross again. Just talked about the urgency for Nebraska, seeing a little bit more of it, but Minnesota just feels like a lot of the 1v1 battles they've been ready for. It also feels like right now with this 2-0 lead, they are not going to make it easy for Nebraska to get back into this game, Anna.
Minnesota's done a great job of just staying relaxed and staying organized. A lot of credit to Schmeiser in this game. She's been really organized as a center back.
Good ball, far stick, looking for Brock, and Brock cannot connect with it. Sorry, Anna, but Brock almost got the urgency goal we were talking about.
Brock making that late run into the 18 on the far post. Well done by this Nebraska team just to get it across and behind all the numbers in the Minnesota back line. Brock just doesn't reach her foot out far enough to get a touch on that ball.
Brock went to Notre Dame High School in the Los Angeles area. Nebraska coming into this game as one of 3 unbeaten teams in the Big Ten. This game, they actually have more fouls, 13, than shots. Shots now just sitting at 11. They had 10 in the first half and just 1 shot here in the second half. The teams combined for 18 shots in that first half and just 1 lonely shot here in the second half.
And for this Minnesota side, not too much of an emphasis on going forward. The possession hasn't been as great, and Coach Chastain's certainly wants to continue to build on this score line. However, impressed with Nebraska from a defensive standpoint. Minnesota did a really good job of creating really good opportunities for themselves, set plays, and that hasn't happened. There hasn't been much action in Nebraska's back half here in the second half.
Little flick, another big save pushed out.